So let me be your family this Christmas. Let this...
Hey guys, it's your girl Linda Mary and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, karibu sana, that means welcome in Swahili. So today I'm going to give you my experience studying in Uganda. I studied in Uganda for my secondary education, that is from senior 1 to senior 6. So I was there for 6 years and today I'm going to tell you how that experience was. Anyway, I'm just so excited because I love Uganda. I love Uganda. I always say it's my second home. Let's start with the journey from here to Uganda. So I was sponsored for my secondary education. So there's this guy in Africa. Most of the time we like referring to white people as Mzungu. So there's this Mzungu or white guy who started a school in Uganda, and then he decided to sponsor a few of the students. Not everyone in that school is sponsored, but a few. So he picked a few from Uganda and also a few from Kenya. So I was among the people who were picked from Kenya, and I joined this school the second year after it was founded. So let's say the school was founded this year and then I joined next year. So there was a liaison, like there was someone connecting the Kenyan students to Uganda. So we were meeting and then traveling together with this person who was now our guide or the intermediary, the person between us and the person who is sponsoring us in Uganda. So that morning we woke up, I remember it was 6 a.m. My mother and I walked. Where we were meeting actually was not in Nairobi, because that time we had moved from Nairobi to a place called Oyugis. It's a town, a small town near my up country. So we woke up with my mom and then we just walked, because we're just walking into town. It's a short distance. So before we got there, my mom just told me, let's branch here into our church. So I was wondering why we were going to our church, but when we got inside, my mom just told me that I had requested the pastors to come and pray for you before you travel, because we were not coming back every time. We were supposed to come back once a year, okay? So she was like, yeah, let them just pray for you so you can travel safely and just dedicate you to God. And looking back, I cherish those memories because that was the type of person that my mom was. Okay, today we're not talking about my mom. But so I went there, the elders prayed for me in that if you're an SDA, you know there's that those two private chambers where the pastors go in. So they prayed for me and then we went, and then to the vehicle, I found other students. I didn't know anyone, but there was another girl. Her mom was also a teacher, so her mom and my mom just clicked, and we also clicked, and we started like just talking. And then the rest of the people came, and then we got into a vehicle. It was a Nissan, I remember. We got into a Nissan, and then we were driven up to Busia. So from Busia, now our sponsor, let me just say our founder, I'm the founder of that school. So our founder came for us with this tour bus. I'm telling you, it was like a tour bus. It was like big, and we were like, the Mzungu is coming for us. Okay. Mshamba nayo. So he came for us, we got in, he greeted us, we were so happy. We drove from Busia to Jinja. That is where our school was. It was in Jinja, but not Jinja town, somewhere along Njeru, if you're familiar with there. So we drove there and we reached at night. So when we reached at night, I saw other students now. I'd never been to a boarding school, so I didn't even know what to expect. So I saw other students, Ugandans, they came, they greeted us. And then in the morning, we woke up. And then this one Ugandan girl came and she was like, what's your name? I'm like, Linda. She's Linda, Pole Linda. And I'm like, Isha Poa. Pole means sorry in Swahili. So they were like, and I was just like, okay, it's okay, Nisha Poa. And then they passed. And then the second girl came. She was like, Pole. She passed. The third one came. Pole. At this point I was like, I had to ask, what has happened? Like, why does everyone keep telling me sorry? Like, what is going on? And then they're like, but we are greeting you. I'm like, Pole is not a greeting. It's not a form of greeting, that's sorry. So that's when it like dawned on me seriously that a lot of Ugandans don't speak Swahili. It is Kenyans and Tanzanians. The Ugandans that speak Swahili, most of them are people who are in the military, and then there are few tribes, but generally people don't know Swahili. That was the first shock. I was like, okay, this is interesting. So, so that happened. We met with other Kenyans who had come the previous year when the school was founded. They were so excited to see us because our lot was the biggest lot. For them, they were like, I don't know, 6. Whereas we were more than 10. Like, we were so many. We were only 14. How many? 15. We were many. So we came, we met them, we were so happy, like, oh, you're also Kenyan, where are you from? What's your name? So we were getting to know each other in the morning because we arrived at night. So that time we were going for breakfast. So we went and got tea, and then we went to the school canteen, and we're like, I told that person, I want to buy bread. How much is bread? Okay, before we get to the bread part, my mom had given me 500 shillings while we were leaving home. She was like, these 500 shillings, if you exchange it, it's going to be 10,000. I was in heaven. I was like, I'm going to be rolling in money. And you know, my mom was also a businesswoman. My mom did everything she could to survive. She was also a businesswoman. She had a couple of businesses here and there. One of them was buying bags from Kampala. She used to come to Uganda, buy bags, go and resell. So at least she was familiar with some of these things, the currency, whatever, but she didn't tell me. After telling me that it was going to be 10,000, she didn't mention that everything else is also going to be expensive. So me, I was like, how much is bread? I want to buy bread. And they were like, bread is 800 bob. 800 shillings. I almost had a fit. I was like, what do you mean? Bread is 40 shillings in Kenya. That time I think it was actually 30 or 30 something. I was like, how can I pay 800 shillings? And they're like, yeah, bread is 800 shillings. So that's one of the first things I struggled with, the currency. But I was like, but you did not complain when the 500 became 10,000, but now you want to complain when the 10,000 when bread is 800. So that was a shock for me. It took me time. I kept trying to calculate at 800 bob. How much is this in Kenya? This is 40 shillings. And I'm telling you, that whole math, I kept doing the math. If they tell me something is 1,000, I'm like, how much is it in Kenya? Is it cheaper or more expensive? So another thing that I quickly realized is that most high schools in Uganda are mixed schools. Because most high schools in Kenya are single schools, single sex. Or what is it called? Like boys' school, girls' school. In Uganda, most of the schools are mixed. Even as I was talking to my friends back home and we were comparing experiences, I found it very strange. Because even in primary, I studied in mixed school. Primary schools are mixed. In secondary, I started in mixed school. So I started wondering, I would ask them like, so you just see girls all the time, you're just seeing girls. In the dormitory, it's just full of girls. If you go to class, it's just girls. Like all the people in the class are girls. I was like, this is so odd. I really struggled to understand. Okay, till now I don't know what it means like to be surrounded by just girls, because it was a mixed school. Another thing is the system of education is different. As we are used to Form 1 to Form 4, in Uganda is Senior 1 to Senior 6. Senior 1 to Senior 4 is all level. You reach Senior 4, you do your exams, you get your certificate, you get promoted to Senior 5 and Senior 6. Senior 5 and 6 are A level. Even the subjects that you're doing are different. So, when it came to the subjects, and I realized some of these experiences are not even just in Uganda as a whole. Some of these experiences were in the school that I was in, because it was a school founded by a foreigner, a white person. So it was a bit different. And also he added the words vocational college at the end of the school. So it was also a vocational college. He didn't just want to give us the normal education. He went overboard and gave us even the technical skills. Guys, do you know how many subjects I did in Form 1 to Form 2? I think they were between 18 and 20. They were a lot. Because they were the normal subjects. Maths, English, Swahili, Geography, Biology, Physics. And then there are the vocational subjects. We had building and construction. We'll be given bricks and you're laying houses. You know, if you're into building construction. We had technical drawing. That was now for maybe architects, I can say. Technical drawing. We had the home science. We had French. We had German. We had computer classes. Each other. It was a long time ago. I can't remember, but they were between 18 to 20 subjects in Form 1 and Form 2. So when we go to senior 3 and senior 4, we are supposed to pick 9 to 10 subjects out of the 18. So I dropped some. I dropped some like building construction. I don't want to build. Mini baby girl. I'm not building anything. So I dropped some. Because as I told you that this school was founded by a white person, so we had a lot of visitors from abroad. And even our teachers, we used to change teachers regularly, not for the normal subjects, maths, English, sciences, for these others that I've told you, because maybe someone will come from the States and they're like, I want to be here for one term, I'm going to teach this. And then they go, and then they're not used to invite his friends, his colleagues to come and see the school, to bring staff, to also help here and there. I studied German. In senior 1 and senior 2. Do I know German? I know Guten Morgen, which is good morning, Guten Tag, Guten Schlacht, which I think I'm even pronouncing wrong. Because we were not taught by someone who knew German, an African who knew German. We were taught by a German person. Do you understand? In French also, we were also taught by someone from France. I'm telling you, we struggled. Huh? Because the way they're rolling out the thing, it's like I trying to teach someone Swahili. I can teach you, yes, but I'm just talking it fluently. Like, it's something that I'm just talking it too fluently compared to someone who has studied Swahili. So they're articulating one by one. Me, I'll just be talking as if I'm talking to someone who knows Swahili already. We struggled. I don't remember anything about German. Dropped it like French. I tried to hold on to French. I tried to hold on to French until senior 4, but it was I wasn't understanding much. So sometimes we were given homework like write a letter to your mom. The letter will be like, donnez-moi un crayon, donnez-moi un stylo. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing these things correctly, but donnez-moi un crayon, I want a pencil. So it's like, Mom, I want a pencil, I want a pen, I want to do what? Because those are the things that I know. When we had practicals for French, that teacher would sit somewhere and then just say something. And then you're looking at them like, what do they mean? Do they want me to close the door? To say hi? To come here? What do they want? Because you don't understand. We struggled. So I dropped some subjects. I kept technical drawing. I really loved technical drawing. And because I come from a family of people who are into the building industry, my dad was also in that industry. I loved technical drawing because it was all about, those drawing designs for houses. Yeah, architectural designs. And I did it up to senior 4. And imagine there was a time I could draw designs for houses, not story buildings. These ones are, what they called? Nyumba yenye si ya ghorofa. Nilikuwa naweza chora plan ya nyumba yenye si ya ghorofa. Just, not story houses, the one that had maybe just one flat. I don't know how to explain. Yeah, so I took those ones and I dropped a lot of things. I think I stuck to home science pia kidogo. I don't know until when. But now we dropped them. We remained with 9 to 10 subjects. So after senior 4, when you get to senior 5, you take combinations. So you will remain with 3 to 4 subjects. So the subjects you've chosen, it's called a combination. My combination was Meg K, meaning I took maths, economics, geography, Kiswahili, Meg K. And then we had a general paper which everyone else was doing. So that was the system of education. I don't want to go into details into the system of education, but clearly it was different. It is not the same as Kenya. The first time I saw Museveni, Yoweri, we were in senior 1. So our teacher comes to us and he's like, you nyongos. Okay. You see in Kenya, the way we call it from one monos, a mono. In Uganda, it's nyongos, a nyongo. So he was like, you nyongos, I know most of you have never seen Yoweri Museveni with your own eyes, eh? So today we are going to see Yoweri, and we're like, okay. So there was a show going on at Ginger. I don't know, trade shows or whatever. It was some kind of a show. So he was there, opening it or something. So he was just like, senior ones, nyongos, let's go see Museveni. And we were let out and we went to the teacher and then we saw him with this famous cape and I was like, oh, so that's the president of this country. Okay, that was interesting. For me, it was exciting at that point because I was in Form 1, and I've never seen him. I don't want to talk about my opinions now, but for that time, it was exciting for me. Let's talk about dress code. As I told you, this was a school that had just been founded. There weren't many rules. So what happened is that we used to dress in home clothes. Like these. We used to dress in home clothes. I'm telling you. You're going to the class. You didn't know if, are you a student? Are you not a student? Everyone had their own clothes. Eh? All over the compound. Things changed, obviously. Because after that, I think it was the third year or second year, founder started adding more people to help him run the school. So some of those people that he added came with rules, and they're like, oh, you cannot like wear home clothes. Now we have to wear weekend wear. It should be uniform kind of, those ones where they print the school's name on the back. Did we like it? No. But I understand her reasoning. It was the deputy. I understand her reasoning because there's this comparison that people are doing. You're looking at people are looking at teachers' clothes, and you're looking at your clothes, and you're like, these teachers' clothes cost 10,000, and mine cost 100,000. So that people had that attitude, because it's a school, people are not the same. Some people are wealthy, others are not. So others are not dressing to the nines, others are not. So they wanted everyone to be equal. So I kind of understood it was a lot for us to really adjust, because at first they said now everyone should be wearing blue tops and black bottoms. Light blue, dark blue, navy blue, just sky blue. There were all types of blue, and they're like, no, now everyone has to buy like the uniforms from the school so they can be similar. You're like, we are dead, we are finished. So it was a transition. That's why I said some of these experiences, I think they were just particular to my school, because I don't think that other schools also there have all this freedom. But we enjoyed the freedom. I'm telling you, there weren't a lot of rules. We really enjoyed the freedom while it lasted. And then for the skirts, you are fashionistas. You put on the double slit skirts. Those skirts were hot. They were like tight like this, stretching, double slit, one slit, back slit, short like this, double slits. It was just a lot of slits going on. And we are in a mixed school. We want to impress the boys. So we have to dress well. So let's go to the games. The games, as I said again, we had many visitors from abroad. So I am telling you, I saw games, I don't even remember some of their names. We had so many games because everyone will come with a new game. I'm like, I've brought you this, I don't know where, this game is called badminton, we're going to teach you. They teach you. Another one comes. So there are so many games. I found it hard to stick to a particular game. I would jump from here to here. There's a time I was in netball, and then I was in volleyball, but most of the time I stuck to, I think the one thing that I did for some time and I really enjoyed it was volleyball. There was a time I was thinking of basketball, because we have those basketball, we had badminton, we had the board games, we had the table tennis, we had the lawn tennis, we had the, there are so many games. Some of them I don't even know their names. Mostly I did netball and volleyball, and the one that I loved the most was volleyball. The netball, sometimes I did not understand the rules. So I remember there was a time we were playing, and our biology teacher was the one who was like teaching us or coaching us. So I received the ball like this. So I received it. There's a way I'm supposed to turn, and then I just threw. And then the teacher was like, no, it's a mixed school, so even the people watching, their boys, their girls. She was like, Linda Mary, so you're throwing the ball to whoever it may concern. And people laughed. My struggle with netball, it was kind of cute, but I really didn't understand it well. People just laughed. That teacher was funny. And there were times also we used to go out. I am telling you, they used to open the gates like this and we go out. Me, I'd never seen that. The last few years before I left, that's when they started being strict, or we want to write names, the teacher has to approve. We're like, we have a game with which school we are going. They open the gate, everyone goes out. Some people even go to the market, and then we just come back one by one. You can't even know who has come back now, who has come back 30 minutes later. Okay, it was just a free school in the beginning. It was a free school. So we used to go there, and whenever we used to go and play, I remember there was a time we played netball, and this teacher kept telling us that, so you people are playing like that because you are seeing boys. There are boys in that school. I thought you had boys in your own school. Jesus Yes, we have boys in our school, but this is new. This is fresh meat. This is a change of diet. Oh my goodness, the way I'm talking, someone would think I was dating everyone. No, no, I was a very nice girl. Nilikuwa mshamba when it comes to dating. So, but I did it just once. But that's a story for another day, not today. So those are for the games. And also it got to a point where I got so exhausted because after school we would go for the games, and then from the games you're going for preps. I was just like, me as a baby girl, as an aspiring baby girl, I need to rest. I need my rest. So there are times I just wanted to go and lie down in the dorm and wait for prep time after bathing. So I didn't pursue games that much, but I miss volleyball. I wish I could get back to it. I've been trying to look at this women's volleyball and where people play volleyball. If you know where people play volleyball here in Nairobi, okay, please let me know. I love volleyball. I want to get back to it. So guys, this was an experience of 6 years. So it's a lot of things. I can't even say anything. I'm just going to telling you what I can remember. So this video is going to be too long. So let me cut it short here and then I'll do a part 2. So you'll watch the part 2 tomorrow. So don't miss it. Bye bye for now.